This section should give a short introduction to the background of ballast water management. International shipping has been identified as one of the key pathways for the movement of species between differing ecosystems. Organisms and pathogens found in ballast water and sediments in ballast tanks have had significant economic and ecological impact on marine biodiversity in many regions. They can also pose a threat to human health from the spread of diseases and species harmful to humans. Unlike some forms of ship-sourced environmental harm, the problem arises from an activity inherent to the ship's operation. Currently, there are no entirely satisfactory means of preventing the transfer of species in ballast water. Open sea ballast water exchange management techniques have raised some concerns about vessel and crew safety and the limits of its environmental effectiveness. In the future, changes in vessel and ballast tank design and other technological developments may effectively address these concerns. Until then, we all have to do everything possible to minimize the risks. In 1973, IMO passed a resolution about research into the effect of discharge of ballast water containing bacteria of epidemic diseases. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, a number of IMO member states presented case study research and argued for international rules on this issue. In 1991, non-binding rules entitled Guidelines for Preventing the Introduction of Unwanted Organisms and Pathogens from Ships, Ballast Waters and Sediment Discharges were adopted. These were further developed and adopted in 1993 by the IMO Assembly. In 1994, a working group began to examine the possibility of legally binding regulations that tried to address the ship and human safety issues. In 1997, the IMO Assembly adopted a resolution, A868-20, which revised the earlier guidelines. In 2004, the IMO Assembly revised Resolution A868-20 and adopted it as a convention. The IMO Resolution A868-20 requires all officers and crew involved in ballast water management to receive proper training, i.e. the CBT. All ships to minimize the transfer of harmful aquatic organisms and pathogens. All ships to develop and follow a ballast water management plan. All ships to record all ballast operations. Definition of ballast water management is to deal with treatment defined as a process or mechanical, physical, chemical or biological method to kill, remove or render infertile, harmful or potentially harmful organisms within ballast water. Ballast water management involves precautionary water uptake practices and either mid-ocean exchange, use of alternative discharge zones, retention of ballast water, and use of reception facilities, or another approved method.